welcome to the very first podcast I've ever recorded. This isn't going to be an hour like what I'm planning to do in the future. This is going to be just a quick video talking about, well, the Lions. I am a proud Michigander. I'm from Michigan, born and raised. I currently go to school in Michigan for college. So, let's just say I have a lot of, how can we say this, Lions fans. I know a lot of Lions fans, right? When I say Sunday was the happiest I've ever been for them, and for the state of Michigan, Sunday was the greatest day in probably sports history, I'm not taking it lightly, you know? With Michigan winning big and being ranked number 2 in the nation in college football, and then with the Lions winning, their first game of the season, and on top of that, Ohio State losing, that's always a great thing for Michigan. But with Ohio State losing, it really did be the best weekend possible for Michigan sports. Now, I don't think this is going to change around their season. I saw on Twitter today that apparently the Lions have a 1 in 2 trillion chance of making the playoffs. Is it sad if I feel like the Lions can make the playoffs over the Browns at this point, man? The Browns have sucked this year, man. It's really disappointing. They've probably been the most disappointing team of the year. As you can see, Browns paraphernalia everywhere. I'm a Browns fan. But getting off the Browns topic, the Lions, I feel, have been in a lot of these games that they should have won. They should have beat the Ravens. God, I wish they would have beat the Ravens, man. Oh, I wish they would have beat the Ravens. We could have been on top of the division. But they should have beat the Ravens. They should have beat the Vikings. Let me actually look at their schedule real quick. I was trying to do as many as little cuts as possible. Let me show you the games that they could have won. They could have beat the Bears. They really could have. They could have beat the Browns. They could have beat the Steelers. They could have beat the Vikings. They could have beat the Ravens. And they could have beat... Oh, that's it. Okay. So, with the Vikings and the Lions, right? I mean, the Vikings and the Ravens, they lost to a last-second field goal, with the Vikings winning, what was it? They won by 3, right? Vikings, Lions. Yeah, they won by 4, sorry. So, I believe the Vikings actually, the first time was a field goal. The second time was a touchdown, if I remember it correctly. But with Lions football this year, the Lions could have beat the Ravens, but they lost to Justin Tucker kicking a 66-yard field goal, setting a new NFL record for field goal length, by the way, in case you don't remember that. That happened this year. They could have beat the Vikings handedly. They had that game, basically. The Steelers was a tie. Any team could have won that. But the Steelers really were trying to lose that. I believe that was the game where, was it Chase Claypool? I believe it was Chase Claypool fumbled a really big carry, and the Lions recovered it, and they didn't score, if I'm remembering that game correctly. Then the Browns, they could have beat the Browns real easily. The Browns are trying to lose that game at that point, man. Like, you're starting Tim Boyle, and you're in the game, and you only lose 13-10 against a Browns team that had Super Bowl aspirations preseason. That's insane. Then honestly, they beat the Lions the second time around. But I mean, that's what? That's 1. That's 2. Oh, the Bears as well. The Bears won by a field goal. That's 1 game against the Vikings. They did win. Could have beat the Bears 2. Could have beat the Browns 3. Could have beat the Steelers 4. They could have beat the Vikings the first time 5. And they could have beat the Ravens 6. So genuinely, this Lions team could be a 6-6 team this year. 6-6. This Lions team could have been in the playoff race for the NFC. Think about that. Genuinely think about that. If a couple of these kicks just go in their favor, if a couple of these drives go in their favor, this team is a 6-6 playoff team. The NFC is crazy this year. Genuinely, it's crazy. I don't understand. I can't fathom the fact that a team that is 1-10-1 has lost so many close games. Unfathomable. And in the last month, let me go back to that. In the last month, they beat the Vikings. They lost to the Bears by 2 by a field goal. They were in the lead until the Bears' last possession, where they kicked a field goal, and it was 14-13, turned into 16-14. Then to the Browns, the Lions all game could have won. All they needed was one big play and they won. Or if Baker Mayfield would have thrown another interception, I truly believe they would have won that game. Then the Steelers, they tied. That's the last 4 games. The last 4 games, they could have gotten on a win streak. And I think this really does show, I believe this is actually the month that Dan Campbell has been calling plays instead of Anthony Lynn. So Dan Campbell's really showing that he's pretty good at play calling, man. Watching these last couple games, obviously I watched the Browns game, and I watched the Lions-Vikings game because a YouTuber I watch by the name of Tom Grossi Comedy, he's been predicting as a Packers fan that the Lions would beat the Vikings this week. So I wanted to watch this game and see if he was right. Obviously he was. But I think Dan Campbell is really a good play caller. I think he's one of the best play callers in the league, given the fact that DeAndre Swift has been hurt all season, basically. Jared Goff is your quarterback. Your offensive line with Frank Ragnow has been hurt and injured and constantly, going through some kind of misshifting around of players. You got no wide receivers. Your only receiving threat is T.J. Hawkinson, who's having an okay year. Nothing like he's not like a top 5 tight end right now. But your defense, Amani I cannot say his name. Amani Oruwariye is probably your best corner, which is sad. Jeff Okudah is hurt. Week 2, week 3 gets hurt after the big sideline argument with his coach. Your defensive line isn't getting pressure. Like, it's just so many problems with this team. But Dan Campbell, man, has coached the hell out of this team. They're in every single game. Well, not every single game. They did lose 44-6 to the Eagles. They did lose 28-19 to the Lions. By the way, that game was close, almost like through 3 quarters. They lost 24-14 to the Bears, 35-17 to the Packers, 41-33 to the 49ers. Never mind. That 49ers game, they could have won. They could be 7-5 right now. This Lions team could be 7-5, 7-6 right now. Because I forgot the 49ers game, they had the ball to end the game, and Jared Goff, I don't think he intercepted it. I don't think it was an interception at the end of the game. I think it was just an incompletion. I need to see the okay, well, I can't look it up. I believe it was not. No, it was an interception. I think it bounced off of a receiver's hands into the hands of, who was that? Was that Jaquiski Tart? No, Dre Greenlaw. Right. Yeah, it bounced off of Amon-Ra St. Brown's hands into Dre Greenlaw's hands in the end zone. So that's another game that could have gone to overtime, and we don't know what's going to happen. But the Lions could easily be 7-6 right now. Think about that. This Lions team could have a winning record if just 5 games, the last possession goes their way. That's they sound like the 2019 Browns. And I've been saying this all season. The 2019 Browns and the 2021 Lions are the exact same team. Exact same. Good running game. Receiving threats are Odell, that was Odell's first season. I wasn't expecting a whole lot of Odell his first season. They got receiving threats, tight ends, a quarterback who's not super good. At that point, a line that wasn't super good. The O-line was not really good. And on defense, they only had 1 or 2 good players, that being Denzel Ward and Myles Garrett. So 2019, the Browns, in my opinion, are the 2021 Lions. The 2019 Browns were 2-8 in one-possession games. 2-8. The Seahawks that year were 10-1. I believe it was 10-1 in one-possession games. But the Browns were 2-8 in one-possession games in 2019. And the Lions are probably, 1-8, 1-7 right now in one-possession games. So I really do feel that Browns team and this Lions team have a lot of similarities. A lot of similarities. And with that, the 2019 Browns went 6-10, right? They went 6-10 in 2019. The Lions are currently 1-10-1, so they're gonna have a worse record. They're gonna have a better overall draft pick, but the Lions have a lot of good things for them. They got a franchise left tackle, a solid O-line when healthy with Jonah Jackson, Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker, and Holopaliti Vaitai, and their left guard is Tyrell Crosby, really good, solid O-line. The wide receiver threats, they're gonna pick a wide receiver in the top 10 of this year. They're gonna get a wide receiver easy. I don't think that's out out of mind they're going to get a wide receiver this offseason. A good tight end, a quarterback who can manage the game to a point. Because I think Jared Goff is going to be there for one more season. I believe next season is his last season just because how his contract is, worked and all that. I think it's like a $35 million cap hit if he's cut this offseason. They're not going to take that in a rebuilding team. But I think Jared Goff will stay with them for one more season. I don't think they're going to draft a quarterback this year. I think they're going to wait another year. On defense, Amani Oruwariye is really... Wow, I cannot say his name, man. Amani Oruwariye is a budding superstar corner. You have Jeff Okudah, who hopefully will come back from injury healthy and play better overall. But you got, two corners that can play. You got okay safety play with Tracy Walker. Your linebackers could be better. I'm not going to lie to you. They could be better. But you got a pretty decent pass rush with Julian Okwara and Romeo Okwara, Trey Flowers, Michael Brockers. Like, you have pieces on that defense that if you can get more talent through the draft in free agency, you could really become a playoff team. And in that NFC North, the Vikings are showing they're not as good as they actually are. Mike Zimmer in 2020 had an excuse. Everyone was hurt. Everyone was hurt in 2020. No one is really hurt in 2021. Like, no one's really hurt besides Dalvin Cook now. He has a torn labrum. And as I'm recording this video, has almost 200 yards of offense against the Steelers, and they're blowing him out of the water. But Mike Zimmer is probably going to get fired in the offseason. A whole new head coach, Kirk Cousins, that whole ordeal. But they're never going to be a super big contender in that conference. And the Bears are rebuilding right now. They're going to fire Matt Nagy. They're going to fire Ryan Pace. Justin Fields is going to have another year of experience. But the Lions have a real chance of solidifying as one of the better up-and-coming teams of the next 2 or 3 years. I think them and the 49ers also have a lot in common. The 49ers got top 3 pass rusher of 2019. Nick Bosa obviously was the number 2 pick that year, but I don't know where he ranks right now as in pass rushers. Is he top 10, top 15? I don't really know. But in 2019, he was probably the best pass rusher that wasn't being paid multi-millions of dollars. Then they also had a pretty good cornerback room with Richard Sherman and also Keller Witherspoon, all those cornerbacks. They had a good linebacker core, good pass rush with D Ford. There's a lot of pieces, man. Oh, don't forget DeForest Buckner was also on that team. The Lions, if they get a couple good pieces, if they can get what is his name? He's in this draft. An Aiden Hutchinson, a Kayvon Thibodeau. A Kayvon Thibodeau or an Aiden Hutchinson can act as a Nick Bosa for them, as a franchise defensive end on that defensive line who can solidify an already okay defense. But if you can get a top 2, top 3 defensive end in this year's draft, right? You then go in free agency, get a pretty good safety. I don't know, someone like a Ronnie Harrison. A Ronnie Harrison would be really good for them from the Browns. I like him a lot in Detroit. I don't really know a whole lot of safeties in this year's class. Anthony Harris, I believe he's on a 1-year deal with the Vikings right now. No, not the Vikings, with the Eagles. With the Eagles. He's on a 1-year deal with the Eagles. I think there's a good chance you can get him in free agency. Pair them up with Tracy Walker. The linebacker core, probably going to have to draft someone. It's not a whole lot of good linebackers in free agency this upcoming season. Upcoming offseason, sorry. But if you can really get a Kayvon Thibodeau, a Aiden Hutchinson, you can really become a 2019 49ers and rebuild that defense just through one draft pick and a top 3, top 4 draft pick. That offense, you really just need a wide receiver. You got a solid O-line. You got a pretty good tight end. You have a fine quarterback. He is a Jimmy G quarterback. He is equivalent to Jimmy G right now. You have a really good running back in DeAndre Swift and a really good running game behind him. As we're seeing, all those second, third, fourth string running backs are really Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is a really good running back. Then you just draft a wide receiver in round 2 because this is a very deep receiver class. You could get a Treylon Burks possibly in round 2 at this point. You can get a lot of wide receivers in round 2 that are round 1 talents. This is gonna be like in 2020, where Elijah Moore slid to the second round and now he's a star on the Jets. You can get Elijah Moore with the Lions next year. You can get a wide receiver in round 2, maybe even a linebacker in round 3. Christian Harris is really falling down draft boards right now. There's just so much hope for the Lions, man. I really want the Lions to be good. Not only for myself, but for my friends and my family members who are Lions fans. I would love to be able to go to a Detroit Lions game and know that they have a chance to win. Again, I'm not a Lions fan. I just want the Lions to be good. I don't think it's crazy for anyone to want the Lions to be good because the league is more fun when the Lions are good. I stand by that. Man, when Megatron was in the league and him and Matt Stafford were throwing up bombs, when Barry Sanders was in the league, there was so much hope in Michigan, man. And I just feel like that's my opinion on the Detroit Lions. If you guys did enjoy this rant, again, this is just an unscripted me talking about the Detroit Lions. If you like my thoughts on the Lions, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I got a lot more teams I want to talk about. I would actually love to talk about the 49ers and their plans of the future because that team is a whole mess in my opinion. I don't think they're anywhere close to a Super Bowl anytime soon. But if you guys do want to see more, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Peace and bye.